Hello and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be showing you how I create my mood dream board for the new year, showing you my current one from this past year. If you hear noises, that's my cat. And I'm just gonna be going over what I want for 2023. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my 2022 mood board, show you the pictures I put on it and what ended up coming true or manifesting. And then I'm gonna show you how I pretty much create a mood board dream board. If you're not sure what a mood board dream board is, it's basically, you could just grab like a poster board or any kind of board. And what I typically do is I print out pictures from Pinterest, just representing things that I wanna accomplish, achieve, obtain, whatnot for the following year. Some of the pictures I do have on my mood or dream board are like long-term goals too, not just short-term for that year. So that's pretty much a mood or dream board, and let me tell you, this will be my third year creating one. I started one for 2020 or 2021. The second one I have is for 2022, so this third one will be for 2023. I'm telling you, they work. Every single year, almost everything has manifested on it. I'm actually going to do this vlogging style in a second, but this is what my dream board for 2022 looks like. Very quickly, I did write the past 2 years that I've done dream boards, and then the year. I think for this year, I'm not gonna do that because some of the things on this list are long-term goals. So I feel like that just puts a timeline on it. Let me do vlogging style and point to everything and how it manifested. Up here, I have New York City skyline. I really wanted to go to New York a bunch of times. I actually ended up going 4 times to New York, and one of those times was in July, actually July 3rd, and I was at a rooftop bar seeing the city skyline while the sun was setting. So that literally manifested. This was to see more sunrises and sunsets, but mostly sunsets no matter where I am, and same with this picture. So this picture more so manifested itself because I did see a lot of sunsets, sunrises, went to the beach to watch them. My patio outside my apartment has a perfect view, especially in the winter when the trees are bare. This was to more so try to this was more so trying to manifest at least once canoeing or kayaking with the sun setting or rising. That did not happen. I mean, the sun was setting when I was in a boat in Lake George, but this did not happen, sadly. This was just to go to the beach more, which happened a ton. This was to bike ride more, and that sadly did not happen. It was just to do more different things with my hair, which I did accomplish because I used to love doing my hair in high school and doing different things. So this was to represent being more creative with my hair. That was to buy myself flowers once a month. I ended up doing it almost every other month, buying myself flowers. That, again, was to buy flowers, which ended up happening every other month. Not quite every month. That was so I could ride a horse. I didn't ride a horse, but I saw horses a couple times, and I actually ended up vlogging it, and I pet them and they came out to me and it was pretty awesome. Let's see, that was to go on more road trips, which did happen. These two were to represent eating better, healthier, and more gut conscious because I have food issues. I did eat a ton more fish, and I did actually accomplish this, but I want to even accomplish it more in 2023. This 2 things would represent having less clothes, which I actually just did a closet clean out, which I'll upload probably in 2023 or January. And I actually ended up getting 5 trash bags donated. It feels amazing. And this was to represent just really honing in on my style and dressing more like how I want. This outfit's cute, but it's not exactly me, so I do have a different picture for 2023 to further accomplish that. This was, I really want to be a filmmaker, producer, director, screenwriter, all that fun jazz. I have so many movie ideas and I just feel like they could really do something. So that was to represent that as a long-term goal. That was to get more money. I wasn't able to save more money, sadly. This year was pretty rough for saving money. It was an expensive year, but I did get a raise at work and got a COLA, so that was nice. This was to represent my new apartment, which I ended up getting this apartment in February, and it looks pretty similar to this, so I'm really happy. This was to create more of my wire rings, which I did, but this was more so to represent me selling them, which I did not do, but I did make more for friends. This is the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Rhoda and Mary. If you've never watched that, you should watch it. This was to represent seeing my best friend, which I did 2 times this year. This was to read more, and I did read more. These 2 things were to go up to Vermont and snowboard more and to get my own gear, which I did. I literally snowboarded every other weekend and I got my gear. I want to try yoga, start yoga. I now do yoga weekly at home. This was to represent joining a dance class or getting back into dance. I definitely do that more at home. Not really though. I definitely want to have that for a goal again for 2023. This was to find a therapist, which I ended up doing. These are just sayings that I like to say to myself and to remind myself of, so I added those to my board. This, literally all of my friends think this is the stupidest one, which it is. This just represents a feeling, a vibe, a glittery butterfly vibe, which I did feel many times this year. Can't explain it. This was to represent meeting new people and new friends, which is funny because I met 2 new friends this year. And this was to represent kind of having a group of friends and going on adventures with, which did happen. This was to represent going on a jet ski, which didn't happen, but that's funny because it happened to my friend in Lake George. And there's a picture of Arizona here because I wanted to plan a trip to Arizona, or at least go to Arizona. And I feel like somehow this manifested him. That's a fetch. That's a far fetch. But his middle name again is Canyon. There's canyons in Arizona. I named him after my favorite state. His middle name. And you know what? There is a place called Ramsey. I think it's a town in Arizona, Ramsey, but there's a canyon called Ramsey Canyon in Arizona, and that's why I named him middle name Canyon, because Ramsey's a place in Arizona. So somehow that picture I think manifested him, even though that picture is Sedona. This was to manifest more times on a boat and in Lake George, which I go to every summer now with my friends. And actually the next day after we had our boat day, we rented a boat again, so that was awesome. This was to represent more waterfalls and cliff jumping, which I did do cliff jumping again in Lake George. This was to represent more concerts and to go to Greta Van Fleet. That did not happen, but I did go to Nelly when he went to a huge fair near me, and I think I'm buying Shania Twain tickets soon. So this was to represent camping, which I did in Lake George. We were supposed to get a cabin. It was too late and we ended up camping. I love camping, so I'm kind of glad that happened, but it was the hottest weekend of the summer, and even though I love summer, I was sweating in that tent. This was to represent dancing with a guy, and that happened. It was to represent going to Michigan to see my friend because she used to live there, and I did. Now she's in Milwaukee. And again, those are the Arizona pics. And then that's Ireland. I really want to somehow plan a trip or get it going to go to Ireland, and that has not happened yet. But I definitely want to do it through EF Ultimate Break. This was to represent more fires and times with friends. That happened actually a few times this summer, a couple times. Once with family, once with friends. This was to represent if I went to Arizona, going to the airplane graveyard. That did not happen, but what's funny is for my nieces and nephew's birthday, by the time they turn 3 and then older, my gift to them is like a special little day with them. And my youngest nephew, him and we went to the airplane museum in my state, and he loved it. And on the outside of the airplane museum is airplanes that aren't in the best condition that they keep outside, obviously not inside. And that photo reminded me of it. This was to go out in nature more, which I did a lot of, and solo hiking. And I think, yeah, that's everything for the dream board that happened. Okay, so it's currently the next day. The day prior, in the last footage, I showed you what is on my current 2022 mood dream board and just kind of explained what manifested and how it manifested, and then the few items that really didn't manifest for me, but that does happen. Of course, when you do these dream and mood boards, it's not like you're just putting a picture up and you're like, okay, make it happen, whoever. It's up to you to like really try to accomplish these things. It's just for me and other people, it's nice to have the mood and dream board because you're visualizing it, you're seeing it every day, so it's helping you create it, push for it, and manifest it. But today I am going to cut out the pictures I printed for my 2023 dream and mood board. The poster board I got at like a CVS. It's the same one as the one I used for my 2022 one, except it's just the bottom half. I cut them in half because there was enough room, or it was too big for those photos. These photos I printed out this year are, I think, a little bit bigger than the ones on my current mood dream board, so this might be a tight one this year. I just quickly want to show you how I organize my pictures for the dream and mood board and where I find them. It's pretty simple, self-explanatory, and probably obvious. I just use my Pinterest. So I just use Pinterest to organize my pictures for my dream and mood board. It's the easiest way, and I personally think it's the best way to find the photos that you want. This is my home feed, so throughout the year I may see a photo, like for example this one, of a person reading in a hammock, and I might be like, you know what, I really want to spend more time outside reading in a hammock or something like that, which I believe I have a photo like that on this dream board for 2023. I will just save this to my personal dream board on my Pinterest account. I have a dream board, and on here I just will pin that. This is what my dream board looks like. These are all the pictures I have pinned onto this dream board for my 2023 year. They are all the pictures I have printed out. So stop that recording. We are going to currently right now, we are just going to cut out all these photos. What I do is I organize them on my board before I tape them or glue them down. I think I have glue sticks, so I'm just gonna glue it because it just looks a little bit neater than just like taping it. Okay, so I have cut out all of the photos and I'm going to place them on here before I glue them, just to get an idea of where I want them all to sit. So let's figure that out right now. Okay, I'm gonna continue figuring this out, but this is gonna be a very jam-packed board. So, and I'm getting actually a little overwhelmed with how to group it. So let's just circle back once I finish. I finished the mood board for 2023. It's very cluttered compared to my one from this past year. I think because I have more pictures and because, excuse you, one of my Real Housewives in New Jersey. I printed them so big and I have so many more pictures. But I actually, the first year I ever did one was for 2021 and it was just as cluttered, but it wasn't organized, cohesive. So I feel like this is more organized. So let me explain. So I basically, before I explain what each picture is representing, I basically went through and in the middle I put all of like the quotes because I wanted it there. And then what I have up here is this area is like things I really want to accomplish this year, like more like personal goals, which I'll get more into, or just like more like serious things, I guess you could say. This middle part is like trips and stuff I want to experience this year or plan. The bottom is adventures in nature I want to do. This is just like events in general, like concerts. This portion underneath the captions is just really honing in on my style, so I put that section there. Up here is more solo adventures I want to do and activities I want to do alone, and down here it just represents meeting new people and friends and going on more adventures with friends. This just represents something in general, just for like little meet cutes, flirtations. This is just more like things I want to experience. And then up here is the corner with my really long-term goal of what I want in my career. So let me just explain what all of these mean. This is to represent reading more in general, and I also really want to read more out in nature. This is to continue representing seeing a therapist, but I also want to find a new therapist, one who focuses on or either does ACT-based therapy or third wave, which my friend who's a psychologist told me I should get. This is to represent justice that I want served to an individual who, I might do a video on this on my TikTok and YouTube, but an individual who very much hurt me and hundreds of other people or girls. This is to represent eating more non-GMO foods, just things that are better for my gut. These three are to represent doing more yoga and becoming more flexible and be able to do a freaking handstand in that bridge. This is to represent saving more money and being smarter with money. This is to represent more journaling. And these two are to represent making amends with 3 people who kind of did me dirty. That's to represent like personal growth, amends, things of that nature. Down here is to represent seeing more concerts. I am seeing Shania Twain, but I want to go to more events and more concerts. I really want to see my heroes like Paul McCartney and Gordon Lightfoot. This is to represent more adventure, so I want to go on boats more, which I do every year for Lake George. Just be out by the water more, waterfall adventures, train adventures, camping, cliff jumping adventures. This is to represent trips I want to go to or I am going to. So this is to represent me going to Florida in February. This is to represent a place in my state that's abandoned that I want to adventure with my friend. This is to represent me visiting my friend in Milwaukee in July. This is to represent going to more amusement parks. I love going on roller coasters. These are to represent Oregon and Washington and how I want to plan a trip with my friend there for not even next year, but maybe the year after that. This is to represent my style. These pictures really show what I like to wear and how I like to dress, and like how I want to do more things with my hair and be creative. So I really want to like hone in on my style and stick to it and not try to go with trends. Again, these are just captions I've really like. So give me love, give me dreams, give me self-esteem. I'm attracting powerful, positive, and healthy vibrations into my life. Do things that make you forget to check your phone. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. And don't let your mind bully your body. I really need to do this year. Up here is just solo adventures I want to go on or do or experience. I want to go to New York more like I did this past year, but I want to actually go alone at least once. I want to visit more museums. I want to at least try to get into a dance class of some nature, like hip hop, because I did dance for 11 years growing up and I miss it. I want to go more bike rides, do more solo hiking, and just really, when I get to like the peak or the top or wherever and on hikes, I want to just sit there and just embrace it. This is, I want to collect more seashells, so it's more just like a solo thing, like collecting more seashell, more fun little treasures at the beach. This is to represent more time with friends, so going on more adventures with my friends, like with the train track, with hiking, meeting new people. I really want to drive some mopeds this year and just going on more like mountain beautiful adventures, things in nature. This is because I want to really ride a horse this year. Down here, I want to see more sunsets, go to a ranch, go to a flower farm, experience that of some sort. And this is just to represent fun little meet cute flirtations. I don't really care necessarily for, but I also, there's a part of me that's like, kind of want to experience that, see what happens. This is to represent going on swings and healing my inner child. This is to represent taking more photos with my DSLR camera I have, just to get back into doing that. And this is to represent my future and long-term dream and goal of becoming a movie director, producer, filmmaker, screenwriter. And you know, maybe I'll act, because I have a lot of movie ideas and I feel like they could really go far. So, just an overview quickly. That is my mood board. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it influences you to do your own mood board, because I'm telling you, they work and they're also really fun to make. And yeah, that's it. Catch you in the next video.